I believe in my own mind that the thoughts we have about a myriad of things each and every day are just there. But what we put into action is the other thing that makes life really move. So how do you bring enough self-awareness to put into action what you will really want to course correct in your life and what you really want? And how do you do that with love?
Yeah. So, the first step that I had to take on my journey that I recommend, I talk about in my book, I talk about in my programs, is we have to have honesty with ourselves. Like, I had to get really honest with myself, like, wow, I'm in a really unhealthy relationship. And wow, I'm getting really sick. Like, I'm really actually not as happy as I'm pretending to be. And up until that point, Devin, I don't think I even knew that I wasn't that happy. Like, I don't even think I had full awareness around it because I wasn't taking the time to ask myself the questions of what do I really want? How do I want to feel? But also, what isn't working? What feels hard? And when things feel really hard, well, there's two things we can do. We can get better, right? Or we can avoid it, right? And most of us have learned how to avoid, how to numb, how to sweep things under a rug. And then we live in this space of not dealing with what needs to change. And where we can get better, well, we either can build some skills of resiliency and also discernment. Is this something that I need to get stronger and build new skills and tools around? Or is this something that's not for me? So I had to go through a lot of that. I had to get honest, like, this isn't working. I don't like this. I think I'm dying. Like, I know I wouldn't be around if I didn't change my life. I know it. And then from there, it was like I had to discern, well, do I need to build more tools? Like, is it me? Is it him? Like, what needs to work here? So we have to get aware and ask ourselves, do I need to become more resilient, or is something fundamentally not working? And it took me time to discover that and listen and to have honesty. But the first step to radical self-love is creating space and time to actually ask ourselves the deeper questions where we have the opportunity to be radically honest, because most of us are on autopilot and we don't even know it. And then we're bumping up against these areas of our life, like relationships, health, wealth, our purpose, whatever's not working. And we're trying to force things without actually giving it space and awareness to actually breathe and see what is meant to be and what's meant to fall away. And that's one of the number one reasons why people stay stuck in unhealthy relationships with others and also with themselves. So first step is radical honesty, which requires time and space and sometimes a guide to ask the questions that maybe you don't know how to ask or don't know what questions to ask. The second step is courage. The word courage actually comes from the word heart. Cœur, right? Which is a French word. And I think it's also like in Latin, it's the same or similar. And we have to have a certain level of love to be courageous. And that starts within ourselves. We cannot live a life of courage, being courageous in the world, unless we're operating from the heart. So for me, when I had to leave my marriage, when I had to leave a life behind that never felt like my own, when I had to change my business, when I had to take all these leaps, it started from a place of the heart, and that's radical self-love. And so that's where we have to sit with, oh, this isn't working. I need to make a change. And then the third step to creating radical self-love and any kind of transformation is showing up and taking action. And this is where a lot of people get shy because they're like, well, I don't know what it looks like on the other side. I didn't know what it was going to look like on the other side. I was in a relationship for 8 years. I didn't know what it was going to look like on the other side to start a new business and become a coach. I didn't know what it was going to look like on the other side when I wasn't who I always had been. And so courage, and when we have radical honesty, courage, and we show up, that is the foundation of self-love and also love for humanity.